Today on 10 Minute IT Jams, we have Adi Engel, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of vcita. So vcita is a software platform for small business management that has strong value proposition around helping micropreneurs to get paid for their services. So welcome to the Jam, Adi.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Thank you. So to get us started, could you just tell us a bit about vcita's platform? What kind of solutions do you offer?
So we live in the space of helping small businesses and micro businesses digitalize their day-to-day operations. So that would be an app that basically helps them with the time management, their client management, their, getting paid for the services that they provided. So just an overall solution to help them get on board of that, digitalization wagon.
Mm. So you're kind of in like the fintech, non-traditional bank sort of space.
Absolutely. And we do work together with bank because obviously everyone in the ecosystem has a very strong incentive to get SMEs to digitalize themselves. So that works well for the SMEs themselves. They get better efficiency, better transparency, create better client engagement and better client experiences for their clients. And then it works better for the traditional banking industry and the neobank industry because they could get the data, the exposure to those small businesses that potentially were kind of uncharted territory for them before.
Mm, yeah. And in your field, so how has technology changed the relationship with people in their traditional banks or financial institutions? Like for young people, for example, may not be interested in the physical banking model. So how has your field, the technology changed that?
Well, I don't think anyone was particularly keen on the physical banking aspect. Banks were very happy to pull back on their community presence. But I think specifically for micro entrepreneurs, flexible workers, this created a bit of a vacuum because if I am not able to show up to my physical bank at the corner of my main street, and the banker there knows me and there's therefore knows to extend a line of credit to me, then how do I actually engage with the bank? So with the digitalization of the banking services, something needed to happen also from the SME side, which is the digitalization of the SME. Otherwise, they simply don't speak the same language and they simply don't live, in the same platform.
Mm. Yeah, so you mentioned a bit about kind of the pandemic's relationship to financial institutions. So in terms of small businesses going digital, what aspects of their businesses are the most freelancers and solo entrepreneurs taking to the digital spaces that they use to go offline? And what's the biggest challenges with this transition?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it became a bit of a hype. At some point, everyone were telling you, you have to go online. And
Mm,
what does that mean? A lot of people are like, am I supposed to now become a, Instagram yoga teacher? How do I monetize that? What if it's not my thing? I think, one of the challenges that we saw is actually breaking it down to, the specific vertical, the specific profession that small business owner had, because obviously it's a huge amount of individual professions. So if I am, for example, a financial consultant, going online for me is a completely different thing than for a yoga studio owner or for a hairdresser. So and can a hairdresser go online? What does that mean? So I think it was about breaking it down to the specifics and saying, yeah, this is how it would work for you. A financial advisor, you can still take meetings online, you can charge your clients remotely, you can practically do the same thing that you always used to, only from home, assuming that you have that mental space. But if I'm a hairdresser, what does going online mean? That needed to be unpacked. And I think what we did find is that one common denominator for all of small businesses is the drive to go cashless, to have the ability to pay and get paid remotely, which is basically a huge driver for digital payments in general. So, that is something that we've seen a huge increase with. And now it's about, yes, can you send someone a link to get paid? Yes, you can. But can you make a business logic out of it? When is it sent? Who are you sending it to? Did they remember to pay? Did you remember to follow up with them? All of those things, we can help with automation of it. We can help with, building kind of a business logic out of it, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah, and in your opinion, what can the fintech industry be doing better? So what can the wider fintech ecosystem do better to serve enterprises, small businesses, banks, everything?
Well, I think, traditionally it's considered, the fintechs, they're the innovative ones. They bring in the great ideas. They bring in new SaaS models into the industry. That's, all great. But how are we communicating all of this to the customer? Eventually, our customers are consumers. Small businesses are consumer challenged. They have consumer behaviors. So we cannot expect them to make, purely logical decisions. They don't have an IT department. They didn't, create an RFP to choose the perfect application for them. So it's on us to really kind of make the journey accessible to them, to clarify the value to them. And on the other end, it's also on us to collaborate with the incumbent banks in the way that will be suitable for them. It's easy to say, these are big enterprises, they don't understand the client, their cycles are so long. But this responsibility is on us. It's not about, will they come our way? It's about us meeting them more than just in the middle. We have to find our way to them, because eventually they will deliver the trust of the customer, they will deliver the reach, and hopefully they will trust us to deliver the product.
Right, yeah. And finally, what is the best way for enterprises and users to get in touch with vcita?
Well, our website will be a good start. So www.vcita.com. As you might expect, we also have quite a significant Facebook community of people who let us know exactly what they want from us. And I'm personally on LinkedIn if you wanted to look me up. I'm Adi Engel.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, that concludes our IT Jam with vcita CMO Adi Engel. Thank you so much for joining me today, Adi.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.